All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopefully elect. All right, beginning with the 144,000. So, we're going in today really is just having that endurance, having that faith, and basically not making the sacrifice that Yahweh Shah made void. Right, I was having a conversation, right, with somebody, and they were basically just going into, how quote unquote hard it is to be living, a righteous lifestyle, right? And I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? It is, but it isn't, right? Because the more you into it, the deeper you get into these scriptures, into the truth, the more you realize that all the outside shit is really bullshit. It's not worth it, right? Especially when it comes to, righteousness. Like the scriptures tell you, you can't love the world and love the Most High. You gotta choose. You have to choose one, right? But on the flip side of things, it can be hard because again, we know just through daily things, men may have women that they deal with, right? Your job, you might have kids. We got bills and things of that nature. Just on that side of the spectrum, yeah, it's a lot of things that can shift your focus, right? If you're not careful, right? And that's really what this is really getting into, right? Making sure that you keep that focus, right, and not making the sacrifice that Yahweh Shah made void, right? I was during this conversation, I was saying, you don't think, as hard as it may be in this life, with temptation to go off, and I say go off as far as not being on your P's and Q's, not watching your videos, not staying on top of things, not doing lessons, things like that, right? Of course, Yahweh Shah, he went through similar things. I say in the part that, he was tempted, right? Now, did he defeat that temptation? Of course. We're talking about Yahweh Shah here, right? But the point being, you aren't the only person who had to go through temptations, right? Even when, Yahweh Shah was being delivered up, to be killed, he knew his job, but at the same time, how gruesome and how the death that he knew that he had to endure, right, or the things that he knew that he had to go through, right? Even he asked the Father himself, which we'll read, if it be the Lord's will, let that cup pass from him, right? But he didn't let that temptation to, he didn't make a decision to go off and do his own thing and use his spiritual powers to run away or anything like that. No, he sat there and stood through it, like a good soldier does. And we're also going to get into that in 2 Timothy, right? But this is we'll read that account of Yahweh Shah, persevering, and just realizing, the job that he had to do, right? And that being the same thing that we have to realize, which is we have a job to do no matter what. So this is that account. This is Matthew 26, and you really just read. You can just really read this whole account. It's only a couple verses. So this is when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. I think I'm saying that right. Slack if I'm not, right? But Matthew 26 and 36, it says, "Then cometh Yahweh Shah, with them which Yahweh Shah is the true name of the Son, Yahweh being the true name of the Father, right? Not Jesus, not Jehovah, not Yehovah, not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not God, not Allah, not Elohim. No, the true names of the Father and the Son, there's only one name for each. One for the Father, Yahweh. The other one for the Son, Yahweh Shah. Right? Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. Right? But again, verse 36, it says, "Then cometh Yahweh Shah with them unto a place called get this in me. I think I'm saying that right. It's lucky if I'm not. But it says, and saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. And brothers go through these things. Brothers be sorrowful and very heavy because they realize, you know, for us, quote unquote, life isn't fair. You know, that's like, when, Solomon had wrote in the book of Ecclesiastes, he saw all over the earth, all is all is vain, is vanity. Nothing matters, or like it also says in the book of Ecclesiastes, um, uh, you increase in knowledge, you increase in sorrow, right? Roughly paraphrasing, right? Because you go off, you do whatever, right? There's a punishment that comes with it. You understand that's really that true fear of the Lord, man. That's the beginning of knowledge, to have the true fear of the Lord, to understand with every action there's a consequence, right? Rather it be immediate or in the future, right? Being reserved for that fire, you know. Verse 38, it says, Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. And he went to pray. Salakia. I see. Verse 39 says, And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt, man. So that's, you gotta understand, this is Yahushua pleading with his Father, saying, the things that he had to endure, after this point. If it be the Lord's will, let that cup pass, because it's Yahushua was a person. He had flesh just as us, right? So he knew the things he was going to have to go through. He knew the things he would have to endure. But just as any man, just like, and not to be disrespectful and compare it to anything as simple as a job, but that's just like a man who, if you don't have if you didn't have to work, you wouldn't do it. And again, not to be disrespectful and compare, the sacrifice that Yahushua made to something so simple as a job, right? But you get the analogy, you get the point, right? If it be the Lord's will to not have to go through it, then he wouldn't want to, because who would? But the Lord being so faithful and understanding his job, like he said, nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. So it doesn't matter what he felt, because we understand, feelings they're feelings, right? And that's why, the elder apostles, they preach, stoicism and things of that nature, because feelings get you in trouble, man. That's what females do. That's the feminine way of things, right? Continuing on, verse 40, it says, He cometh up unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And again, that goes into their faith, like I was saying. You always got that voice in the back of your head, right? Well, really in the forefront, right? You always got that voice in your head that's telling you, go this way, don't go this way, don't do this, do this. You might not want to say that. You might want to, it's telling you what to do, and that be the spirit. But then you always got the other voice that be the flesh, and it's telling you, go do this, say that, go this place, go that way. The flesh is weak. So it's innate in man to kind of cater to that left hand, that left hand side. But that's why you gotta have that faith and fight. You gotta be a good soldier, like I said, Yahushua was. You gotta be that good soldier and endure those things. Because like I say in Sharet 2:1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You gotta be able to recognize the temptation. You gotta be able to recognize that, that ain't right. That's not going according to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So on and so forth. Right? Verse 42, It says he went again. Oh, so like he went away again the second time and prayed, saying, "Oh my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, yes, like except I drink it, thy will be done." And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were very heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Right? So you gotta understand, he prayed 3 times, basically pleading with his father to keep, you know, keep the pain and agony and the things, tribulations, all these types of things, that it might be some other way. But again, you don't make the rules, so you just gotta go through it. You gotta go through it. And the things that we endure in this life is nothing compared to what Yahweh Shai had to do. So that's why I said in the beginning, you can't make his sacrifice void, man. You can't make his sacrifice void. That's why we have to do, follow the laws and statutes and commandments to the best of our ability, because we can't make that void. I could really just stop it right there with the scripture, right? So like I was saying, being that good soldier, right? This is 2 Timothy 2 and 3, really getting straight to the point, right? It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahushua," right? You gotta endure the hardness, whatever it is, whatever it may be. The apostles, Paul, Peter, the rest, they had to go through things too. But they knew these things, right? Paul was being chased to be stoned, right? He ran away, but what did he do? He kept preaching, he kept teaching, he kept doing the things that he was commanded to do. Verse 4. "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." You've been chosen. So you can't become entangled with the things in this life, man. You can't become entangled with, all this vanity, because again, all is vain. Right? Of course, people have a job, people have lives, things of that nature, but you gotta understand at the end of the day, that has to be in the back, right? That's the least important. You just gotta do what you gotta do for that daily bread. You just gotta get that daily bread, and that's it. You don't need all the extravagant things in this life. You don't need all the riches, the glory. There is no glory. It's all these people are evil. Why would you want glory from heathens? I'll read this last thing and I'll get out of here. This is Matthew 24, because this is what this. I mean, it's quite simple. This is what we have to do. It might be hard, but it's simple, right? Matthew 24 and 13. "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." You got it. So, yeah, brothers and sisters are enduring things now, but you really gotta do as Yahushua did and pray, right? Because you have to pray that the Lord doesn't cast his spirit from you, like it says in the book of Psalms. Pray that he give you the spirit to endure unto the end. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to end by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopefully elect.